Thanks for joining us on the weekend edition of National Focus. I'm Nisha Charles. In the headlines, Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerrit donates $100,000 to the Penville Village Council. The National Employment Program begins a sewing module for 14 young women in the South, and the Dominica State College hold its science fair. Details of our headline stories and more after this.
Wash your hands. I am Adora Tuse, health educator from the Ministry of Health. Proper hand washing protects against the spread of many common illnesses and germs. Wash your hands often with soap and water, or you may use a hand sanitizer. Remember, clean hands save lives. Protect yourself.
A message from the Health Promotion of the Ministry of Health.
Thanks for staying with us. The government of Dominica continues to take action to reduce unemployment and improve the lives of Dominicans. Proposed developments in the tourism sector, for example, is expected to create employment during and after construction. The Honorable Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerrit, speaking on Focus on Government and Development radio program on Thursday evening, highlighted some of the development plans for the tourism sector.
We signed an agreement with range, 141 rooms. The developers have indicated to us that they are able to start within the next 9 months. I have approved a second proposal. This morning, today again, I approved in principle another very important development. And very next week or so, I'll be in a position where we will be able to sign publicly that agreement for wonderful tourism development.
The Dominica leader is confident that these developments will result in a boost in employment figures.
It could certainly create a number of construction jobs and also sustainable jobs once those hotel plans are in operation. I mean, if you have a 131-room hotel, you are able to employ about 150 people full-time. You know, if you have a 200-room hotel, you can understand how many people you can employ. And what I would like to see, is that our people who are in Antigua, who are in St. Martin and Anguilla, can one day come back to Dominica, because there'll be sufficient jobs for them to come, sufficiently well-paying jobs to come back to their country of birth.
In the revised Tourism Master Plan of 2013, the DLP administration reiterated its commitment to develop the tourism sector as one of the drivers of national economic activity and diversification. The DLP in its manifesto identified tourism as a high priority sector upon which to develop a sustainable industry. The Penville Village Council is now better positioned to handle its affairs thanks to a $100,000 donation by the nation's finance minister, Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerrit. The nation's leader made the presentation to the newly sworn-in chairperson of the Village Council, Francis Alexis, at the council's 15th inaugural meeting on Thursday.
I'd like to hand over a check of $100,000 to the Village Council. This is just a start for the council. But I'm sure when I get back on Thursday, we will be able to address, because I give a promise to my dear friends in Lower Penville that the Lowry boarding must be done. And we should seek to start work as early as May to get that road constructed. I want to say to you, I am very happy that you are the chairperson of the council. You have demonstrated your love and commitment to this village. And it is because of that you have become the second most popular person in Penville, after me, that is. But I will personally help you, not only as the Member of Parliament, but also as the Minister for Finance.
Alexis is the second female chairperson of the Penville Village Council in over 40 years. At Thursday's meeting, 7 other members were officially sworn into the council for a 3-year term, namely Karen Seaman, Rosemary Etienne, Alana Alexander-Pierre, Gabrielle Garnett-Leblanc, outgoing chairman Justin Dubois, Stephen Charles, and Edris George. Incoming chairperson Alexis says the community has achieved much under the Dominica Labour Party administration in its last tenure. She pledged her willingness to continue working for her community.
It was 3 years ago today, I took my first oath as a member of our village council, and I promised to serve my community with honesty and integrity. 36 months later, I can proudly say with great confidence that I remain true to that promise. I will not attempt to stand before you today and make pie-in-the-sky promises or convince you that I can miraculously change Penville by tomorrow morning. No. This is not why I am here. What I say to you today as a woman of my word is that I am willing to work with you, and I ask that you work with me and my other councillors to move our community forward.
Some of the council's plans for the new term include the installation of street lights around the village, the construction of a new bus stop, road and drainage improvements, greater beautification efforts, among others. Honorable Minister for Social Services Catherine Daniel also addressed Thursday's inauguration. Honorable Daniels congratulated the newly sworn-in members, highlighting the importance of village councils.
I am pleased as Minister for Social Services, Family and Gender Affairs to associate with occasions such as this, for they give clear indication of the positive role that is being played by communities through their local authorities in partnering with central government for the development of this country. When communities prosper, the benefits redound to the entire country. Councils function as an important arm of central government, and I know you got that message, I could feel it in you today, providing valuable support for governance and development at the community level. Hence, every inauguration is testimony that local governance is alive and working in this country.
The Honorable Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerritt is also Member of Parliament for the Vikas constituency, which includes Penville. He pledged his government's full support to the progress of the Village Council.
And I am saying to you that all of the projects which you have listed, the street lights, the bus stops in Laho, Upper Penville, Lower Penville, public washroom, the convenience, drainage, the continuation of the drainage in Carib, the multipurpose, Lawi, Boaden in Lower Penville, the beautification and cleaning, and the painting of the Village Council. These are the projects which you have articulated and indicate you wish to complete and successfully in your 3-year term. Those projects can and will be implemented in your 3-year term. And I even suspect it may very well be implemented long before your 3-year term comes to.
In attendance also was His Excellency the President Charles Savre, the Honorable Minister for Housing, Lands, Water and Resource Management, Reginald Austrie, and other government officials. The Penville Village Council was first inaugurated in 1969. In other news, plans are well underway for the construction of the new Princess Margaret Hospital. The new facility will be constructed with assistance from the People's Republic of China. The Honorable Prime Minister Roosevelt Skerritt, speaking on Thursday's Focus on Government and Development radio program, gave an update of the proposed development.
We had written to the Chinese government, drawing to attention certain changes required from on the plans. I want to thank the Chinese government for responding so quickly. They responded to us. I have the response on my desk. We'll be finalizing the discussion with the Minister for Health tomorrow, and we'll respond quickly to the Chinese government so we can advance the process. Once that is done and we are good to go, as we say, to commence the construction of this very important project, which is the new Princess Margaret Hospital.
The new facility is expected to offer a range of specialist services, including treatment for cancer, access to dialysis facilities, and magnetic resonance imaging (MRI). You're watching National Focus. Still to come, Dominica to observe Road Safety Week. Stay with us.
Did you know the Caribbean Court of Justice is 2 courts in 1? The CCJ has 2 functions: an original jurisdiction, which deals with your right to move between CARICOM countries freely and your right to move your money and your business. This is the basis of the CARICOM Single Market and Economy, CSME, and the revised Treaty of Chaguaramas, and an appellate jurisdiction to hear appeals from courts of those countries which decide to use it as their final court of appeal and no longer go to the Privy Council. All CARICOM member states who have signed the agreement establishing the CCJ are members of the CCJ.
The National Employment Program continues to expand its reach across Dominica. More young people are getting the opportunity to gain a skill that will ultimately change their lives for the better. Kimani Senja brings this report.
We're in the scenic community of Bagatelle in the south of the island, and we've just witnessed the opening ceremony of yet another program from the National Employment Program. The Sewing Apprenticeship Training module just began for some young women in this community.
Over the next 4 months, 14 women from the Pidit-Savan constituency will be trained as seamstresses under the National Employment Program's Sewing Apprenticeship module in this part of the island. The idea for a sewing program in that part of the island originated from former village councillor Sean Martin. Honorable Parliamentary Representative Dr. Kenneth Daru is pleased to partner with the NEP to finally bring the project on stream.
It is said that good things come to those who wait. This long wait was worthwhile, and we are now blessed with a much improved sewing project.
The NEP, under its community outreach program, has provided several Dominicans with necessary skills to be self-employed. Several modules have been completed and are currently ongoing in sewing, stone cutting, small engine repair, construction, craft making, hospitality, and pedicure and manicure. Director of the apprenticeship program, Vincent Etienne, says to date, close to 500 persons have been trained for 2015 so far. The National Employment Program went to great lengths to ensure the smooth running of this sewing module, and so there are great expectations.
What we have done today, up till today, is that we supplied you with all the machines that you need, all the materials and the machine numbers, some 12 machines, both commercial and home machines. We are providing you with all the materials that you would need. We've retrofitted this resource center to accommodate that module. You will be trained particularly in the areas of garment making. We hope at the end of the day, you can form yourself into some type of business organization where you can be gainfully employed, and your community and maybe Dominica on a whole can really benefit from your efforts in terms of, we see an increase in garment production. This program is one that we take very, very seriously. It is something, the Prime Minister, is looking at very closely. It's his initiative, and it's something that we take very, very seriously. He's allocated to us in that department, as I said earlier, $1.5 million for the financial year, and he really expects, Dominica expects really, really great results from that type of investment.
Honorable Daru expressed his desire for the trainees to take full advantage of the opportunity presented to them.
We are hoping, of course, that at the end of this program, those of you who will see it through the end, and I'm hoping that each and every one of you will see it through the end, because a lot of times we start things, we're excited, we're enthusiastic, and halfway, quarter way, okay, we fall along the way. I'm really hoping that this doesn't happen with any one of you, because I think this is a golden opportunity to learn a skill, And afterwards, the idea is, of course, maybe some of you, because I look at the list of participants and you've spread throughout the constituency, but at least as far back as Dubic. So I'm hoping that at least some of you can group yourself together from small cooperatives. And of course, as a pilot, I will try my best to see how I can give you the support to get you started. So this is the idea behind this. Is not just come do a sewing program and you go to your home, but we're hoping that you can use the skills that you learn here to earn a living.
And while many are paying to receive an education and to gain skills, participants of this program will be paid a fortnightly stipend to learn this skill. A check of just over $17,000 was presented to chairperson of the village council to facilitate the payments over the next 4 months.
If you notice, before, many of us would be sitting on the wayside with nothing to do, but now we are being paid to do something. I mean, this is great. We should enjoy it. Grab it, people. This is great.
So after a blessing of the building and prayers that the participants would excel in this venture, classes have begun and will continue until August 2015.
They will learn to do the safety and how to use the machines and how safe to keep the environment. We also started with doing basic hand stitching, measurements and so on and so forth, but at the end of the 4 months, we want to cover almost every piece of clothing, like dresses, tops, skirts, trousers. They sound positive, they look positive, they don't look that they will disappoint me or anybody else throughout the entire month.
That being said, no one can express better than these women how much this opportunity means to them.
Well, I'm excited to do this program because I started a first program, but it wasn't long enough. I learned a little, but with the teacher, I know her, and I think I'm going to get better. I'm since plenty money to fix my clothes, sometimes petty stuff, you know. So now I know I am able to handle that now.
My dream is to go out there and just to do good and to go out there and market the stuff. But if I could get my fellow sisters with me from the same community so that we could just make a society, a cooperative, to go ahead and to just do things to sell, so we could even bring up our own community, brighten our community Dubic, brighten it up, make stuff, let people come into our community and get stuff. That would make me very happy. Oh, I'm delighted because we could be at home, not doing anything. Here we are learning to sew, so that means we are getting a way to make an income, and we are still getting a stipend, so it's like you are getting paid to learn. So we are taking advantage of it, and we are very grateful for it. This skill right now is going to make me get employed because I am going to take advantage of this skill. So after this session, I'm going to have an income, which will make me very happy.
Tell me how this program will help you personally.
Personally, I think it will be a good benefit. So, like, let's say at the end of the program, I can go on my own or go together for a group to, start something good.
The government of Dominica is spending approximately $80,000 to make this program a reality and hopes that these young women will use this new skill to change their lives. For GIS News, Kimani St. Jean reporting.
Thanks, Kimani. Students of the Dominica State College are getting an opportunity to apply what they have learned during their science classes. On Thursday, the college held its science fair as part of the first ever Science Week. Lecturer at the college, Steffi Pascal, says she is optimistic about the future of her science students.
It teaches the students to think logically, it teaches the students to apply many things and develop a lot of things. In our first event we had on Monday, we had some professionals coming in to speak to the students about the different careers they can go into using science degrees. And so I think I'm very happy, I'm very hopeful for the opportunities that lie ahead.
Students created projects related to physics, chemistry, geothermal energy, and bio-related projects. Lecturer Dr. Hermansia Eugene says it was an opportunity to demonstrate how what was taught in the classroom is applicable to everyday life.
In some cases, we allow them to go out, find problems, or find things that are needed in Dominica to be researched and allow them to go through the projects. In some aspects, we gave them tasks like creating glue from milk, creating dye from chemicals, creating a treadmill. We have a student that made a treadmill out of bamboo, and also talking about renewable energy.
One of the projects demonstrates how surface area affects the rate of a reaction. These students use concentrated sulfuric acid on powdered sugar and the sugar crystals. Watch what happens. This student had the task of determining if Dominica can produce 100% of its electricity from renewable energy. He researched wind, solar, hydroelectric, and geothermal energy. Ultimately, he came up with this hydro plant to demonstrate how energy is produced.
Picture this as a waterfall. So when the water falls, it's going to spin the turbine and it's going to produce a voltage here. How it does that is that in this metal casing, there's an electrically charged coil, right? And surrounded by the electrically charged coil is a magnet. Creates a magnetic field, and when the coil spins in the magnetic field, a voltage is produced. Okay? It's a bit messy. So if you watch the voltmeter, you'll see that the voltage is being produced.
Students with the best projects will be awarded on Friday. Science Week officially ends with a green gala on Saturday. In more news, from May 4th to the 10th, Dominica will observe Road Safety Week. GIS News sat down with Assistant Superintendent of Police in charge of traffic, Robertson Laurent.
It was in March 2010 that the UN General Assembly proclaimed a decade of action for 2011 to 2020 for road safety. And the goal is of stabilizing and reducing the forecasted level of traffic fatalities around the world. Dominica has launched a decade on safety. Therefore, Dominica, like the rest of the world, is expected to observe a week for road safety every year under a theme recommended by WHO and the UN. This year's theme is Save Kids' Lives. Now, each year, nearly 1.3 million people die as a result of road traffic collision.
Laura says the theme for the week's observance is Save Kids' Lives.
Road safety for all of us is desirable, but we are aware that children are vulnerable and would require that our actions on the road ensure their safety when they are passengers or pedestrians.
The police force is collaborating with various institutions, including the Violence and Injury System Committee, which is made up of police personnel from Fire and Ambulance Department, the Ross University School of Medicine, and the Ministry of Health. ASP Laura went on to give an insight into the various activities which will make up this week.
There will be live radio and television programs, school lectures and demonstrations, distribution of traffic safety flyers, street crossing demonstration, and public announcements. We are looking forward to the full cooperation of the public during the Road Safety Week. Any corporate houses or social clubs that wishes to sponsor or partner with us will be greatly appreciated.
Alvin John, Sergeant of Police in the Traffic Department, had this message for the public.
One of the things we want the public to be aware is we want to have less collision and less fatality in Dominica. As a result, we want everybody to participate and play their part. One accident or one fatality is too much. So we would want everybody to come on board and do the right things. Safety begins with everybody. And as a result, we want the driver, pedestrian, everybody to play their part. And let's have the Road Safety Week a success.
And that's the English news. McPherson St. Luce is next with the Creole highlights.
Allô tout le monde, bienvenue à cette nouvelle en créole. Non moi c'est McPherson St. Luce. Premièrement, au programme où la monde qui engagé cours de catching en constituency Savane. Plusieurs jeunes femmes constituency là, qui engagé cours à eux à bas programme là. Membre parlement honorable Dr. Kenneth Darrow visité l'occasion la semaine là.
Quand on parle pour constituency Tissavan, moi très content pour partir à ça qu'a fait aujourd'hui. C'est un programme, c'est un projet qui pour cette année nous travaillons à launch project ça là et moi très content que le projet là finalement projet ça a commencé. Quand nous savons le gouvernement Dominica launch ça nous a créé un NEP National Employment Program qui a une année plus qu'une année en passé. Mais ça nous le gouvernement ni private sector passe à employer tout le monde qui a gardé pour employment. So ça nous fait nous commençons à nous créer community outreach program et am nous créer mentorship là nous apprendre jeunes monde pas jeunes monde plus jeunes monde mais il y a des monde qui pathogènes pour apprendre yo différents skills pour si après apprendre ces skills là yo passe à ouvrir un business yo et faire l'argent ça veut créer self employed.
Si le ministre Darrow d'autres assistants qui viennent si programme ça là marche bien.
À Bagatelle, nous avons créé un programme. Nous avons 14 jeunes monde qui ont commencé sur un programme. Et bien, quand on parle de eux, moi j'assure que si vous dites 4 mois, vous apprenez bien, vous mettez quoi parce que participants sortent de différents villages en constituency à Dubik pour y ça vous mettez quoi dans des groupes, des coopératives, et quand on parle de eux, moi ça taper assistance pour gagner des machines taper des places pour ça continuer à faire l'argent pour supporter la famille. So ça c'est une autre manière que le gouvernement Dominica a assuré que nous ces monde nous dans cette catégorie meaningful work. Moi espérer que le projet ça qui continue pas Bagatelle seulement mais les autres villages tout le Dominique et moi encourager tous ces jeunes ce programme ça hier à la communauté pour avantage et register participer à ce programme ça là.
En autre nouvelle, le gouvernement Dominique continue à investir en industrie pêcheur. Parole cela sortira du ministère pêcheur Honorable Johnson Drago. Ministre Drago a créé assez pêcheurs pour investir en secteur cela.
Il y a plus de 3500 familles qui dépendent à les affaires poissons et pêcher pour courir famille. So, le gouvernement continue à supporter l'industrie poisson, Ministry of Fisheries, Department of Fisheries, le gouvernement qui aller assister les poissons et puis les outils besoin et puis le gouvernement a dit pêcher même pour ça invest en business parce que ça c'est livelihood et puis pour ça protect ça yoni moun qui a pêché protect interest investment parce que ça c'est un même économie qui bien fort en Dominique.
En la nouvelle, département forêt Dominique a payé assistance Rare Species Conservation Association l'Amérique et puis en machine, il a servi traiter les animaux qui ont expérimenté des difficultés. Parole ça là sortira officier forêt M. Stephen Durand pendant un briefing média jeudi.
Machine ça c'est une machine qui a son isoflurane machine, anesthesia machine. C'est une machine nous receive the Rare Species Conservatory Foundation, c'est une fondation en Florida qui a travaillé en collaboration avec Dominique et puis gouvernement Dominique pour division forêt. Et machine ça c'est une machine qui a aidé nous pour nous travailler les petits animaux, gibier, parochers. Nous ça servi machine ça pour mettre ces animaux à dormir avant nous ça travailler ces animaux là.
Durant fait parole, les machines ça qui a fonctionné.
Eh bien, c'est une machine qui est RCF gagne nous et yo délivrer machine ça à nous pour nous servir machine ça. En temps nous ni pour dire nous ni on trois cas et puis on évasion parocher n'importe des autres parocher ben d'être petits animaux nous a servi nous a servi ça pour mettre les animaux à dormir avant nous faire préparation pour dire nous pour faire surgery on bagaille comme ça les animaux ça nous a servi machine ça pour mettre les animaux à dormir pendant nous qu'a fait surgery là.
Messieurs, mesdames, ça c'est tout pour nouvelle en créole pour à présent. Non moins c'est McPherson, St. Luce. Ni un bon week-end. Au revoir.
Coming up next, tips on reducing your cholesterol naturally.
Wash your hands. I am Adora Tuse, health educator from the Ministry of Health. Proper hand washing protects against the spread of many common illnesses and germs. Wash your hands often with soap and water, or you may use a hand sanitizer. Remember, clean hands save lives. Protect yourself.
A message from the Health Promotion of the Ministry of Health.
By reducing your cholesterol levels, you can avoid a heart attack. Lowering your bad cholesterol levels to as low as 80 is even better. Limit your intake of foods full of saturated fats, trans fats, and dietary cholesterol, such as red meat, butter, and things like palm oil. And eat more fiber-rich foods that have been proven to lower cholesterol, like oatmeal, beans, and vegetables. And that's all for this edition of National Focus. We always welcome your suggestions and comments. Drop us an email at gis@dominica.gov.dm or visit our website news.gov.dm. Like our Facebook page, facebook.com/GIS News Dominica, and follow our Twitter at GIS Dominica. You can also catch up on past National Focus newscasts on our GIS Dominica YouTube channel. From all of us here on the GIS News production team, I'm Nisha Charles. Thanks for watching and have a great weekend.